Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Rob Coons, president of Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. It's my privilege this evening to be having a conversation and introduce you to Carl Cook, Rose-Hulman's nominee for the Indiana Academy this year. The Indiana Academy represents those individuals in the state of Indiana that have provided significant support to private higher education over many, many years. And Carl, you certainly have done that. And the leadership, both from a philanthropic perspective, but also just leadership and guidance that you provided, you seemed like the ideal candidate in my mind.
I was just very, very surprised this honor was coming my way.
As the head of Cook Medical, there are obviously a lot of interactions between Cook Medical and the engineering profession in general, and specifically Rose-Hulman.
I don't know exact numbers, but I would say at any given time we have a couple of dozen graduates from Rose-Hulman working in all our different divisions and areas in engineering. And there's a couple of our research programs that are headed up by Rose graduates.
Any particular stories that come to mind that you might want to share to kind of capture the value of a Rose-Hulman experience?
We had some recent graduates come and talk to us. There was one in particular that actually didn't look old enough to be a graduate of Rose-Hulman, but he was working for SpaceX. SpaceX was just trying to get their Crew Dragon ready for its first flight, and it exploded on the test stand, rather spectacularly. And I asked him what he knew about that, and if he could say anything. He says, well, I was the guy that pushed the test button that blew it up. He said, obviously it wasn't supposed to blow up, but I pushed the button and there was a huge bang. He said they'd learned quite a bit from it, and it just stood out. I mean, here's a guy right out of school, and he's testing space capsules. I never got to do anything that fun when I was right out of school. That stands out in my mind as a really interesting experience.
Maybe if you would, just talk for a moment about specifically private higher ed, what you see the advantages for individual students are.
They are very intensive programs, but the students get very individualized attention. Their complete focus is on the success of the students, which I think is a little more unique to private schools in general. I think those are the things that I see that I really like about private education.
One of the kind of unique facts about the Indiana Academy that always that certainly appeals to us is the Hulman family. Their endowment is actually one of the founding contributions that established the Academy back in, I think, 1970. So we've had a long history from the Hulman family of involvement in higher education in the state of Indiana, and I think Rose-Hulman is one of those shining examples. Maybe talk just a moment about your impressions of the values of the Indiana Academy.
The biggest thing it does is by recognizing individuals that have helped and contributed to the success of private institutions in the state of Indiana, it creates positive publicity. It raises the profile of individuals as well as the institutions. And that's obviously a good thing. Anything that raises the profile, generates positive thing, it recognizes the successes that they've had. And I think that's what the Academy probably does more than anything else.
So Carl, I want to be the first to congratulate you officially on your induction into the Indiana Academy.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled by this honor and was not expecting it, but thank you.